And on an anniversary like this, we have to give thanks to the Almighty, the creator and sustainer of life, for having brought us this far. And then we have to thank the people of Ghana for making a wise, commendable decision. It was necessary for there to be change from the President Akufo Addo Baumia government to President John Dramani Mahama to take over. I believe President Mahama's coming back is akin to Moses when he had to come back to Egypt to save the Israelites. He had to come back and he saved the people of Ghana. So yes, we have to thank him too, the president, for accepting to come back. Because if he had not, I wouldn't know and we wouldn't know where Ghana would be by now. Perhaps maybe we will be just like slaves, because the revelations within just 1 year is too much. It's too much. He had to come back to save this country. Right. Look at the National Service Scheme, the stealing. We thought it was just about 53 million until deeper investigation revealed that indeed it's even more than 750 million. The GDP of Ghana was around 60.5 billion. So basically, they have stolen more than half our GDP. And it's just a few people. We thank God that he brought John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, the Excellent, to come and save us. Not just that. The National Cathedral, we thought $57 million, the most expensive hole, only for us to find out later on that is around $97 million. The whole country, every sector has become a crime scene. ECG, 189 million Ghana cedis misappropriation. Pualugu Dam, $11.9 million. I do remember that the former vice president said that that dam had been completed, and indeed it was one of the best projects up north since independence, only for us to find out that indeed nothing had taken place at the site, and that 11.9 million was just chopped, shared and chopped. GRA boss, Reverend Amishadai, 8.9 million. Accusation of fraud, corruption, procurement breaches. It didn't end there. The almighty criminal enterprise, where a company was used to receive massive amounts of money, amounting to about 1.4 billion Ghana cedis, for no work done, no validation, no proof of performance. God to intervene, because it was becoming just too much. This same criminal enterprise, Ofori Atta and his people, had it not been for the change of government, would have gone on and contracted our upstream petroleum and minerals to the tune of 2,799,604,864 United States dollars. You see, the people were bent on breaking this country. And the sad thing is, whilst they did this, whilst they stole, looted, and hoarded the money, they told us to tighten our belts. They told even the elders, pensioners, that they could go and die, literally, for all they cared. So we needed a savior, and we cried unto the people, and the people cried unto the Lord, and the Lord taught the people, thou shalt not vote for them again. For they were thieves. They came, they saw, they looted. And enough had to be enough. It wasn't just there. Mustafa Hamid, 280 million. He could afford to buy houses with cash for girlfriends. He knows I know what I'm talking about. 750 billion was borrowed. And for what? We don't know of even 3 spectacular projects that we can point to for them to say that indeed that is something that they used the money for. It didn't end there. They went ahead, printed banknotes, money, without recourse to Parliament. You see, it was just too much in the sight of the Lord, and so there needed to be change. And we thank God for President Mahama coming to change it for us. So if you ask me if I'm being thankful to the president, yes, I need to be thankful. If he hadn't done anything at all, but just saving us from the hands of this wicked, kleptocratic people, democracy was enough. But you know, he has even exceeded all expectations. Look, he promised he could work with 60 ministers, and so many people doubted him. Today, he's worked with 58, saving us the salaries, the allowances, the goodies, the free fuel, paying for domestic staff, the V8s and all that. He has saved this country that amount of money. Look at inflation. At one point under NPP, it was 54%. Steadily, consecutively, it's been brought to what? 6.3%. That's incredible. For once, prices have stabilized and even gone down. You remember in the past, when it's getting to Christmas, that's when the prices of goods and commodities start shooting up. But it's not like that. We hope it continues. We can only say a yiko to President Mahama. Lackadaisical prosecutions of the old guard should have been changed for a revolutionary one like Ural. I'm sure by now we would have had a lot of people languishing in jail. You see, there are a lot of things that needs to be changed. That corruption was massive under President Akufo Addo and Dr. Bawumia doesn't mean it doesn't exist in Ghana. The temptation is still there. People will be tempted if care is not taken. And the best form would have been prevention. Let me give you one instance. Asset declaration form. You fill the form, but when your tenure of office is over, there is no end of term asset declaration form. It's not good enough. For me, it's just a cosmetic dressing. Because somebody can say, for instance, that I have 2 houses, and I'm going to write that I have 12 houses, and that I have 2 cars, and then I'm going to write that I have, let's say, 10 cars, with the hope that if I can get some money, if I can dip my hands and have something, I can build the 8 more houses that I wrote on the paper, or buy some 8 more cars that I wrote on the paper. And it's not really helping in the fight against corruption. If Oral had existed and presidents and vice and ministers and all appointees don't just fill a form, but they are given officers who actually investigate and value the properties that they claim they have, so that at the end of the tenure, they are once again investigated, and the properties that they have, if they exceed what their allowances or salaries or other businesses should allow, will be confiscated for the state. We need that much of a stricter enforcement against corruption. If we don't do that, I'm afraid we may come back a few years down the line and be crying just like we are crying now against the master looters that have just gone. We need to change that. Look at the Public Accounts Committee, and then the Office of the Auditor General, and you will realize that it's just much ado about nothing.
I don't think the OSP is also doing enough.
You see, when you mention the OSP, I think it's an entirely different thing. I actually wish that that office could be converted to an oral office,